Good afternoon. It is Friday, February 25th, 2022, and today we had a big uptrend, really two legs up. We pushed higher and we're in a pretty flat, probably a flat channel up right now. I didn't even measure it, or I didn't even draw it, but it's probably something like that. You can see that looks pretty accurate actually. Bounce off a midline right here, bounce off a midline right here. So I'll actually leave that there in case it looks good when we zoom in, but I'm not going to take too much time here. I'm gonna zoom in and take a look at the trades I marked. So, I didn't mark anything here. Let me make sure that's accurate. So 5 o'clock comes right about here, and you get a first entry, second entry. Yeah, no setups here. We are working higher, and when we get this break, you don't get a setup for a failure. We get this new low here. Let me talk through this channel first. At this point, I don't think I'm going to be taking any failures. This one doesn't really set up anyway. You would go short beneath this chart, or this bar. And I don't like that. And by the time you do get a good signal bar, it's right here, and that's congestive. So, but we get a break of that correction. We come down here and bounce, and you might consider taking this first entry, but it's just the first entry, so I'm not going to mark it. And we hit this level of resistance and form some form a range, small range here, and you can see that. So you might consider this, because you can see that's a little range right there, and that looks like a higher low back into the range. So you might actually take that. I didn't see that. And then we just, we're just chopping back and forth on both sides of the EMA. I don't see anything in here, and this is the stuff you got to sit out because you just don't know what's happening. We come down here, and I don't know. So it's hard to. I don't think you would have had this trend line confirmed until right here. So we get a bounce, and looks like matching lows here. And you can see that's a channel down. I don't have it drawn, but that's a channel down. We get a break. Maybe that's a matching low right there. And you get a first entry, failed second entry short. I just don't like it when it doesn't touch the EMA and it closes way away from the EMA. But that's clearly a failure, so I do like that. You can see we come up here, and by the way, we're now in this pink channel. You get a first entry, second entry. Unfortunately, that's not the highest, or it's not a new low, but you might honestly you might take that. We're expecting prices to probably make a new high, because we haven't gotten a new high from this channel, and that's just very tempting right there. But if you're patient, you get a setup that looks like a second entry long, but also kind of a repeat pattern of this. However, this one isn't a high or low, but I like it because it's a first entry, second entry. It doesn't this one doesn't tick higher, but you can see we went down, went up once, went up a second time. So I like that. Here we get a first entry, failed second entry. Definitely aggressive. It's a bit away from the EMA again, but that looks like one leg of correction, two legs of correction. So then we get a small break of this trend channel, not too convincing. No setups here. We rocket on up, keep going higher. All this is way too far from the EMA, and you get a first entry, second entry. Again, that's a great signal bar, but it didn't make a new low. So at this point, you might be taking, this looks like a really strong, yeah, you might be taking anything here. So you might take that, to be honest, because it's off that trend channel. But when it overshoots that trend, when we get a break right here, I don't know, you might be a little weary. You get a first entry, failed second entry short here after we came. I like this. I like this move. We just came from the bottom. We bounced off that channel low. Boom. And that looks like two measured moves up, two measured legs up. You get a first entry, second entry here. It's just off the midline though. And there's just, that's too risky. And it didn't make a new low either. But what a strong trend up this was. First entry, second entry, that's more bearish than it is bullish. So I just, and you got 4 bars overlapping there. So, and it's in the middle of the channel, so not a good idea. And if you're patient, we got a new high, first entry, second entry, extremely good entry off the key entry point. Take that. You get a higher low right here. Take that. This is clearly telling us this is a channel. You might even take this one right here, especially with how high risk these bars have been. 53.25. That's a 7 tick bar. Are you kidding me? On days like this, 7 ticks. I got stopped out on a 7-point bar. So take those. Nothing in here. We finally get a break. They probably trapped a bunch of longs right here, taking a first entry, and not that many, not enough to bring it lower. But really, they trapped a bunch of shorts here. Maybe first entry, failed second entry, long. So people were probably, you might even want to go long here because first entry, failed second entry, long. People are going short, trying to pick a top. Boom, you get that nice move out of it. And then, yeah, we hit this measured move right here. So that's another reason why all these people came in and were selling. And we make a new high. And we're just going sideways here. And we get a nice leg down and then a second leg down. And we hit this major trend channel for the day. And we bounce. And you get a first entry, failed second entry, long. I like that setup. We get a break right here. One leg, maybe 2 legs up to a new high, and a brief sell-off. And for me personally, I had this level of support drawn. Test it once, test it twice, test it a third time. And on a day like today, man, I think that's a good trade. Even though the signal bar is not great, I really like that. This one, I really like this one too. It looks like a failed break lower. And so both of those. And then we do break lower and you make a first entry, failed second entry, short. Look at that entry. That's a great entry. And then it's just, we keep going on both sides of the EMA. So, you know, it's a little shaky there. So this level of support is no longer important, and we're making lows, but we're really just going back and forth. You can see, and if you had this trend channel drawn, maybe you would go long on something like this if you're feeling aggressive. Look at how far away from the EMA that is. You could probably just ride that back to the EMA and get like 3-4 points out of it. 59.25. Yeah. So new low here. This is just a higher low, it looks like, but look at how bullish that is, man. And this is clearly a trend up. So you might take that, and that takes us into 1230, and you can see this thing finish near its high. So pretty crazy day today. Let's take a look. This thing, I got hit with a real big loss right here, taking a second entry short. Yeah, going short right here. It's funny because on the MES I took a higher low to ride it back to the EMA, because it's, you can see we bounce here and get a higher low, and I'm like, okay, that's probably going to go back to the EMA, which was correct. And then I was like, no, I was wrong, second entry. So I took that and got trapped. And let's see, had another trade way up here somewhere. Okay, and yeah, and I took this trade off the I really like this one. I entered this twice. I was expecting it to come up and test these highs, so it stopped out my runner, and I entered again, and that's when I had to stop. So that's what I saw for today. I hope everyone had a blessed day. I'll be back next week.